Davonte Sanford, at 14 years old, was sitting in a maximum security prison facing the possibility of 90 years behind bars. Sentenced as an adult for a grisly quadruple murder, Detroit police say he willingly confessed to.
Why are you telling me about the shooting on Running? Because it was getting to me, and my mother told me to tell you the truth.
You would take his place if it were possible?
Yes, yes. I felt that I failed him as a mother because I couldn't help him.
Taminko Sanford says she never believed for 1 minute her little boy was capable of murdering anyone.
If you had to describe him to people who don't know him, what words would you use?
He have a heart like gold. He's everything that a mother would want their son to be.
Still, Davonte's original attorney, Robert Slomika, whose law license has been suspended, somehow convinced Taminko that pleading guilty to the murders was her son's only hope of ever getting out of jail.
Slomika tells the family that the case is hopeless and he should accept a plea. And so then the family put pressure on Davonte to accept a plea.
I was advised and told by someone that we put our trust in to do it, and we did it.
Then, just weeks after taking a plea deal, Davonte makes another shocking confession, telling everyone he's not a killer. He made the whole thing up.
Why would he tell this story?
Well, most people can't believe that people falsely confess to serious crimes, but in fact we know that it happens all the time. And some people are a lot more vulnerable to it than others, especially the mentally ill, the intoxicated, and especially the young.
Davonte's current attorney, David Moran, believes the teen's diminished learning capacity made him an easy target for a few rogue Detroit cops desperate to close the high-profile case.
So it's not a matter of he walks in and says, hey, I'm going to make up this false story. It's the police relentlessly, hour after hour, will tell the person, we know you did it, we know you're not saying it, you're not telling the truth.
It seemed like the man and the lady on the floor were already dead. Is that correct?
Moran says police were literally feeding Davonte the facts, and he was simply parroting what he heard.
Once they finally break down the suspect and get him to actually go along with the narrative that the police want, then they turn on the camera and they get what looks like a convincing confession. That's what happened with Davonte.
Despite Davonte now claiming he didn't do it, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office maintained it had their killer.
It was never about anything else other than what the evidence was that we can prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
One piece of evidence Davonte's attorney claims proved it beyond a reasonable doubt, Davonte's drawing of the crime scene.
Davonte was a kid, and as a kid, it's so easy to be led into saying things.
No one may have ever questioned Davonte Sanford's conviction, if not for this man, Vincent Smothers, a self-proclaimed hitman who suddenly has a conscience.
What's made you tell all this? I got a 3-week-old baby girl. I couldn't put them through a life on the run or the possibility of getting killed.
He was determined to take responsibility for the murders he committed.
16 days after Davonte was cuffed and sent to prison, Smothers stepped up and told police they had the wrong guy.
He wasn't doing this because he felt bad for Davonte. He was doing it because he just wanted to take responsibility for what he had done.
The only thing you used was the AK?
Smothers leads police to the AK-47 assault rifle he used to commit the murders and draws his own diagram of the crime scene. It's a perfect match.
The police and the prosecution knew who really committed the Runyon Street killings.
But Davonte's attorney, who runs the Michigan Innocence Clinic, says the reaction from the Detroit police is simply appalling.
Instead of saying, oh my God, thank God we found this man, we can clear that 14-year-old boy we just sent to prison, the reaction was to cover it up.
Why do this?
This was a high-profile quadruple murder, and they had arrested and sent to prison a 14-year-old kid. So think how embarrassing it would have been to say, you know what, we got it all wrong. It wasn't a 14-year-old kid, it was a professional hitman and his accomplice who did this.
Vincent Smothers is offered a plea deal, 8 counts of second-degree murder with a sentence of 50 to 100 years. But shockingly, Wayne County prosecutors never charged him with the 4 murders on Runyon Street, maintaining Davonte Sanford is the real killer.
So why did they give him that deal? Well, the only answer that anyone has been able to come up with is they didn't want him going to trial. Because if the case went to trial, it was going to come out that not only had he confessed to these 8, but he'd also confessed to the 4 on Runyon Street.
So Davonte Sanford sits behind bars for nearly a decade until the most unlikely hero comes to his rescue.
It's a guy who's doing his time, and he just didn't think that was right.
Up next, chilling video surfaces of Davonte's life behind bars.
Do you wish you never saw?
And now it's a cop making a shocking confession.